streaming live on WHTradio.com from High Tech High School in North Bergen, New Jersey. We are live with Dr. Solter. I'm your announcer, Cassandra Fernandez, and I'm your host, Lauren.
Good morning. I'm your host, Lauren Cabrera, and today with me is Dr. Solter, the superintendent from North Bergen High School, Cassandra Fernandez, and behind the glass we have Mr. Askelis. So, recently there was just a press conference explaining that North Bergen is going to take over this new facility. North Bergen's going to take over High Tech High School, and High Tech High School is going to move to Secaucus, which most of you guys already know. And so they were just talking about how this school is going to be a high school and how North Bergen High School is going to be grade 7, 8, and 9, and this High Tech High School is going to turn into North Bergen High School, and it's going to be 10, 11, and 12. So what do you think? How is it going to be different? Like, how is this school going to be different? What are you guys going to do differently?
Oh, I think it's going to be vastly different because right now at North Bergen High School, we probably have enough seating for about 2,100 students, but we have 2,450 as enrollment, and we were probably as high as 2,700. So we had to house about 600 students somewhere, and we have a split schedule. We have study halls that our students have to go to. So we have to be very creative in how we can educate the students. And in addition to that, teachers have to share classrooms. So we had to move things around in order to make sure that all of the children in North Bergen High School were educated properly. When we take over this building and make this North Bergen High School, there's only going to be about 1,800 students coming down here. So what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to go to block scheduling. We'll be able to go to each teacher probably at their own classroom. We're going to be able to go to a more relaxed atmosphere because of less students. It's going to change the way that we teach, and I think it's going to be for the better. Right now, we're doing well with what we have, but you always want better. The ability to move the present North Bergen High School on Kennedy Boulevard into a junior high school, and that would be for 9, 10, and 11. That would be for 7, 8, and 9. Will allow our 7th and 8th graders to be in a better setting as far as a junior high school is concerned. Right now, they're in the elementary schools, and I think that they feel that they're a little too old for the school. I see that in where, when you're a 7th or 8th grader, 12 years old, 13 years old, and you're in a building with little kids, they really can't express themselves. They can't, have a sense of ownership, basically, of that school. So now when they move to a junior high school, they're going to be changing classes. They'll also get different courses that they can do electives. There's a lot more of a junior high school setting that these students will be going through, and I think better preparing them for the high school setting and moving on to college. The best I think that could happen is now the elementary schools open up classrooms, and by opening up classrooms, we can now do other things with those rooms, and maybe bring the kindergartens back to the elementary schools from Lincoln Annex, and then move the pre-K from the park into the Lincoln Annex Early Childhood Center. So it's really a win for everybody.
Yeah. You can go, Cass.
So I have a question about the athletic departments. So how will they operate since all the facilities are more in North Bergen High School and up on the boulevard compared to the varsity and everybody being down here? Where will it operate?
That's a great question, because I know our athletic director, Mr. Maeda, was asking some of the questions and looking at it. And we're going to have an exploratory committee with preparing for the move down to here, because it's still a long time away. It's not going to happen tomorrow or this summer. So we have time to prepare. What we want to do is we want to make sure we do it right. We want to make sure that we make sure that the athletes have the right facilities, and that the sports will be taken care of. Practices probably could go on down here, and what we would probably do is we probably have our athletic events, our games, up at the present Kennedy Boulevard location. Where there's a beautiful gym up there. stadium seating. So we'll have our varsity basketball and JV basketball up at that facility. Our wrestling will still take place up there. But as far as volleyball, as far as the other sports, they may go on down here. Again, that's something that we'll have to look at.
What about pep rallies and stuff?
Yeah,
Are you guys still gonna do them? Because high tech doesn't have pep rallies because
it's tough to have a facility because now we have 1,800 students. Right now we have a pep rally up at the gymnasium, and we can probably fit about 1,200 students in the stands. So some students don't get to go to the pep rally. That's again something that the principal is going to have to decide on how they want to handle that. We may just have spirit days. So in a sense where everybody comes dressed up in red and gold, which are our colors, and they may have like the band go through the cafeteria, and rather than a designated pep rally, it may be just spirit days that we go to. So but that's an option for the principal. I'm not going to micromanage from my position. We hire the principal with the thought that he's going to handle the school, and that's the decision that he's going to have to make.
Now, I have a question that I know every student in North Bergen is thinking about. The uniforms in junior high, are they going to be different than the high school?
That's a great question. Again, we're going to have committees for each transition. And to have maybe something of a different color, that might be something that we do, just to designate which school they're at. Right now the elementaries have more of a maroonish color, and the high schools have a black. So we may go with the gold, or we may go with some other color. But I'm not going to handle that right now. I'm going to have the transition teams think about that.
Since you guys are taking over this building, are you gonna add any extensions, or you're gonna keep everything the same?
Well, one of the reasons why we're taking over this building is because the cost is right. That's a major determinant, and I don't think right now we have the money in the budget in order to make additions. I think what we have right now is we have to renovate some areas to make it fit our needs.
Yeah.
That's I think the major focus. One of the things we may look at down the line is an arena type athletic facility.
Yeah.
One of the things I look at is at Bayonne. Bayonne has a state of the art facility with an ice skating rink, and they have different swimming pools, and so we may look at that down the line. That's something that money has to be involved with, and depending upon funding. But that is something that we will look at later on. I think the classrooms are state of the art. I think that the setting might just have to be where some of the classrooms here are too big, and we might have to cut them in half.
Yeah.
That's might be some of our first things that we do. You have a lot of multi-purpose rooms down here, with dividers. So one big room can easily become two, and that's what we have to look at.
Freshman year, because I'm currently a junior, so freshman year, their classrooms were actually bigger. They started dividing classrooms. I don't think you got a chance to see them.
I've been here for a long time for a lot of different events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some of the classrooms, especially if you walk 124, there's 124A, B, C. That used to be just one big
Right.
classroom, and they cut everything in
Right.
half. So you guys can probably do a lot more extensions, especially here in this room. It's a really big classroom, and you guys have more kids, so you could probably split it.
Yeah. So that's something that the transition team has to look at. And
Yeah.
we'll probably go room by room. And we'll look at, okay, what's the purpose of this room? Obviously there's labs. We may have to add some more. I'm not sure about that. But we'll have the transition team go in each and every room and define what the purpose of that room will be.
Yeah. Are you guys going to keep classes in the APA?
Yes, we are.
You are?
Yes.
You guys can also add in the field house as well,
Mhm.
because there's 2 buildings over there.
Mhm. So one of the things that I'm looking at is we have a STEM academy at the high school.
Yes.
And the STEM academy, they get together and they take all of their science, technology, engineering, mathematics classes together. But they're with the rest of the population for their electives and for their humanities courses. But we're looking to make that more of a STEM hub down there.
Yeah.
And that would be where a lot of the STEM classes would be. And I know in touring it, the athletic facilities down there are phenomenal. So, those are some of the things that we'll probably keep and stay with. But I'm looking forward to working with the STEM Academy and making that kind of their home down there.
Okay. Well, that's basically all for today. Thank you for watching, and thanks to our panel, Dr. Solter, Cassandra Fernandez, and we have Ascalise and DePiro in the back. I'm your host, Lauren, and this is WHITradio.com.
Thank you for live streaming with Dr. Solter. Turn into WHIT Radio's YouTube page for more shows. Have a great day.